Bonjour. Today we are going to learn about plus que parfait. Plus que parfait is nothing other than a compound tense. So we have learned that a compound tense is a tense that is formed from two verbs. That is, we have a helping verb that is known as the auxiliary, and we have the main verb. So let's see how it is formed. So we know that plus que parfait is a compound tense. So a compound tense is formed from, we have a root first and then we have the endings. So this is how the plus que parfait is formed. That is the imparfait of être or avoir and the past participle of the main verb. Now let's see how the root is formed. So to know the root, we should know the present tense in the new form. For example, if it is a verb ending in ER, that is the first group verbs. If you take, for example, parler, you know that parler means to speak. So the new form is nous parlons. So you remove the ONS and take the root, that is the PARL. In the same way, for IR verbs also, it's the same thing. For example, finir, you remove the take the new form, the nous finissons, you remove the ONS. So we have FINISS. So that is the root. And the same thing applies to the RE verb. That is, for example, we have vendre. Vendre means to sell. So nous vendons is the present tense. So you remove ONS and take the root, that is VEND. So this is how we get the root. Now let's see how the ending is formed. So the ending, this is the imparfait ending. Okay, so the imparfait ending for the subject, that is, we have for the first person singular, we have je, and for je, the ending is AIS. And for tu, that is the second person singular, it is again AIS. And for third person singular, il, elle or on, it is AIT. And for first person plural, that is, it is IONS. Second person plural, IEZ. And third person plural, it is AIENT. So these are the imparfait endings. So once you are thorough with the imparfait endings, you can learn the plus que parfait easily. So now let's see how the plus que parfait is formed once again. So it is the auxiliary of, that is the auxiliary verb that is formed from the imparfait of être or avoir plus the participe passé. So the choice of the auxiliary, that is whether it is être or avoir, is the same as how we learned for passé composé. Plus que parfait indicates a past action that precedes another past action. So there are two past actions. Okay, so the subsequent action uses either the imparfait or the passé composé. As we see here, plus que parfait is the first action that happens. Then we have imparfait or passé composé, and then if the present tense is there, the present tense is used. For example, Charlotte était déjà partie quand Jacques est arrivé. That is, Charlotte had left already when Jacques arrived. Okay, so here the action that happened first was Charlotte had left. Okay, so that is the action that happened first. So now hope you can understand that the first action that takes place here in the past tense uses the plus que parfait. The next action can be in the passé composé or imparfait. It is formed from the imparfait of être or avoir. Now let's see what are the imparfait of être and avoir. For être, it is était, the first person singular. The second person singular with tu, again it is était. For il, elle and on, it is était with a T. And nous, it is étions. Vous étiez. Il ou elle était. So that is for the verb être. Now for avoir, let's see. For avoir, it is avait. For tu, it is avait, again same spelling. Il, elle or on, it is avait again, A-V-A-I-T. Nous, it is avions. Vous aviez. And il ou elle avait. So these are the imparfait of être and avoir. So once you know the imparfait of être and avoir, it will be easy to do the plus que parfait. Now let's see how the participe passé is formed. Okay, so just like how it is formed in passé composé, the same rule applies here. That is, for ER verbs, the first group verbs, we have the past participle that ends in E accent. And for IR verbs, that is the second group verbs, it will be the past participle ends in I. And the RE verbs will have the past participle ending in U. So when the, just as the passé composé, the rule applies here also of agreement. That is, when the auxiliary verb is conjugated with être, the past participle has to agree with the subject. Like if it is masculine singular, you don't add anything to the past participle. But if it is masculine plural, you add a S to the past participle. If it is feminine singular, you add a E. If it is feminine plural, you add a ES. So let's see some examples. So, je terminé mon devoir avant de partir en vacances. That is, I had finished my homework before leaving for vacation. So here we have two actions that are happening. I left for vacation and I finished my homework. So which action that took place first? The first action is I had finished my homework. So that should be in plus que parfait. So the verb terminer, as we know, is a verb conjugated with avoir. So the answer will be j'avais terminé. So the first verb, that is the auxiliary verb, is in imparfait, and the second part is the participe passé. J'avais terminé. I had finished my work. Okay. Now the second example we have elle dash déjà dash partir quand Philippe est arrivé. She had already left when Philippe arrived. So again here there are two actions that take place first. She had already left and Philip arrived. So which is the action that takes place first is she had already left. So that should be in plus que parfait. So the answer is elle était déjà partie. So était, since partir is a verb conjugated with être, we have used était, and partie we have used e because agreement is there, because elle is feminine singular. Now let's see some exercises. Elle dash apprendre le français dans sa jeunesse et elle le parlait encore très bien. She had learned French in her youth and she speaks very well. She still speaks very well. Okay. So the verb here is apprendre. So we have to use plus que parfait. Okay. So apprendre, as you know, is a verb conjugated with avoir. So what should the answer be? The elle is third person singular. So the answer will be elle avait appris. Second one, ce matin j'étais en retard car mon réveil ne pas sonné à la bonne heure. That is, this morning I was late because my réveil means alarm clock did not ring on time. Okay. So the verb here is sonner and it is in negative. So let's see how to use. Sonner is a verb conjugated with avoir. So the answer will be n'avait pas sonné. Since réveil is third person singular, avait is used. Je n'avais pas sonné. Mon réveil n'avait pas sonné. Okay, so the third sentence, let's see. Je suis retourné à la plage où nous se rencontrés avant. I returned to the beach where we had met before. So as we know, the verb se rencontrer is a reflexive verb and reflexive verbs are also conjugated with être. So the answer will be nous nous étions rencontrés. And remember, rencontrer has a S after it because there is agreement, because it is plural. Okay. So hope this is clear. Plus que parfait. Merci.